Good evening. This meeting, this meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to Star Ledger and all local source. Sorry. Is it on? Yep. Local source. Posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the Township web. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance by Carl Oxford Jr., Vice Commander, American Legion. Post 228.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for servicemen here and abroad. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Huber.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Laufer is absent tonight. Committeeman Capides.
Here.
Committeeman Kaiser.
Present.
Committeeman Weber.
Here.
Thank you.
We have two proclamations. The first one's going to be Vietnam.
All right.
Vietnam is when I grew up. I mean, I had friends and that went over there. I remember we used to cut school and go to the Marine headquarters at 5 Points and sit there all day. I think about it, I say to myself, what did we do? We sat there and admired them. At that time, kids admired service. But thank you for all your service. We do appreciate it. Chris?
All right, so I have a proclamation. I'm a Gen X kid. My parents are that, were born in 1950 and are that generation. And my story is that my father's born in 49, goes and lies to the Marine Corps in 65 and tells him he's 18, they kick him out. Goes back a second time, they kick him out. Goes back a third time, now he's 17, his mother says, I can't do it anymore, signs off on him, goes in the Marine Corps. So that is 66. Okay. By 69, he is discharged. By the mid-70s, he is sick with Agent Orange. Lot of complications. Managed to hang tight until 98. And it's you guys know that when it's over, it's not over, right? Unfortunately what happens, and you see this, I guess my generation now would be September 11th, right? Because you're gonna see people forever and ever. I was a police officer in Newark when it happened, and on the job, and we all, everybody got sent over to New York City and so on, and you see what's going on with that, and I don't know, it's rough. That generation, I guess they're boomers, right? It was, they thought nothing of joining the service at an age where my son did the same thing. My son went and joined at 18. He said, either you're gonna help me with it or not, join the Marine Corps. I was like, all right, I'll help you. Thank goodness I helped him, because I had him delivering munitions in the middle of the desert. And he scored really high on the ASVAB, so we got him a better gig than that, but, thank you. I'm gonna read a proclamation, and I think what ends up happening is, there's not a way to thank people for stuff like that. It's just something that they did. For whatever reason, it just clicked in them, and that's how they did it. So I'm going to read this proclamation. It's pretty long, so here we go. National Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29th. On National Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29th, we honor all those who bravely served in the Vietnam War and who sacrificed on behalf of our nation. Throughout the years, the Vietnam War, 9 million Americans earned the title of United States veteran. Today and every day, we honor their bravery and commitment and give thanks to a generation of Americans who so valiantly fought in the service of the country they love, and we recognize the continuing impact on so many veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors. In 2012, our nation launched a 13-year-long commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War to ensure that every veteran, family, caregiver, and survivor impacted by the difficult years in Vietnam feels our nation's gratitude for their sacrifice. We pledged never to forget the 58,000 service members whose names are etched at the wall in the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. To the families of the more than 1,500 service members who remain missing and unaccounted for, know that our nation's efforts to bring them home will never stop. Whereas the Vietnam War, also known as the Second Indochina War, was a conflict in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia that began on November 1st, 1955, ended with the fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975, with U.S. involvement ending in '73. And whereas all residents of the state of New Jersey should memorialize the 1,556 New Jerseyans who made the ultimate sacrifice during the Vietnam conflict. And whereas U.S. Army Captain Eleanor Grace Alexander of Rivervale, who joined the Army Nurse Corps in May of 1967, was the only woman from New Jersey killed in action, and today is one of 8 women listed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. And whereas Springfield resident and Silver Star recipient, Specialist 4, Dennis Cole, age 20, was mortally wounded while placing suppressive fire on the enemy to allow his platoon to withdraw. And whereas when those heroic soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and Coast Guard members returned home from Vietnam to a polarized and divided society, all New Jerseyans should be united in bestowing the respect and honor these service members deserve. And whereas we must remain vigilant in assisting those Vietnam veterans who need medical treatment for their physical and mental health. Whereas the Township of Springfield partners with the Church and Canon Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, and the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration to remember and honor our Vietnam veterans, as well as their families for their courage, sacrifice, and resolve. Now therefore, Richard Huber, Mayor of Springfield, on behalf of the Township Committee, does hereby proclaim March 29th, 2025 as Vietnam War Veterans Day in Springfield and affirm our ongoing commitment to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, which began on Memorial Day, May 28, 2012, and which will continue through Veterans Day, November 11th, 2025. I call upon all residents to seek out and extend their profound gratitude to each of our Vietnam veterans and their families. Signed by Mayor Richard Huber. Now, Mayor Huber's going to come down and proclamation? Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, he said something while he was, before his reading, but I remember, I come from Maplewood and going down to Broad Street in Newark, and the people lined up there for their physical, trying to sign up, begging to go. It's so different now, it was unbelievable. When you said about volunteering, it was unbelievable. I never saw anything like it.
It's a different generation than you've seen now.
Well, thank you.
Who is accepting this proclamation? Take your time on it, they all gotta get a picture of it. Oh, that guy's my dude, man. I love your grandson. Yeah, you guys have the microphone? The only thing I'm gonna request is that we have a fairly bad, you have to talk into it, so.
That'll be quick. I didn't get to this rank by turning down a microphone, so, but I promise I'll be quick. Hey, so, Marty, welcome home. I do have pins for the rest. So, small world, the proclamation talks about the Vietnam War commemoration, which falls under the Office of the Secretary of Defense down in Washington, D.C. My name is Ed Crystal. I graduated from Dayton, grew up in Springfield. My mom still lives up the street. I'm the director for the Vietnam War commemoration. Major General in the Army, in the National Guard, retired state trooper. So that's my assignment now. So my mission in life is to lead my team to thank and honor Vietnam veterans and their families, and it's a great job. Any of these veterans here can tell you, you go somewhere with a shirt or a uniform on or a hat on, everybody thanks you for your service. Everybody wants to buy you a beer, everybody wants to buy you lunch, something. 50 years ago, it wasn't like that. 50 years ago, sadly, we treated our veterans and our returning warriors very badly. We spit on them, we assaulted them, we as a nation, and we treated them badly. We couldn't separate the war from the warrior. What I've learned in this job, and again, I'm going to be quick, I promise. What I've learned in this job is that we not only treated the returning warriors badly, but we treated their families badly. I work with Gold Star family members who tell me stories about how they had their mailboxes hit with baseball bats and written on their houses and cars, "You deserve it," because they felt that their father or their mother shouldn't have been overseas to begin with. So, as was said in 2012, the United States is trying to right that wrong. And through presidential proclamation and through congressional action, the Vietnam War commemoration was made. We cannot do this alone. We estimate there's 7 million Vietnam veterans still living here and abroad. We're talking about anybody on active duty between 1955 and 1975. Anybody that was drafted or enlisted could not self-determine where they went. So we put them all together. We cannot do it alone. We have commemorative partners like the Daughters of the American Revolution, like the Sons of the American Revolution, like the Township of Springfield. And we have, throughout the country, we have over 13,000 commemorative partners. They've held over 28,000 events, and we've thanked and honored over 4 million Vietnam veterans. So we're very proud of that. That's all I have to say. I do have pins. We give out a pin. I've become friendly with Joe Call, who's Dennis Call's brother, and also some Gold Star family members from Milburn as well. But we do give out a lapel pin. It's something small, but it's from the United States government. On the back, it says, "A grateful nation thanks and honors you." And I do have enough to give Marty to bring back to whoever was supposed to be here tonight. Hopefully some of them have it already. But again, God bless all of you. God bless the United States. And thanks again for letting me insert myself into your meeting.
We have one more proclamation. Save soil.
Okay. This proclamation is on behalf of the Township of Springfield for Save Soil. Save Soil is a global movement launched by Sadhguru, uniting world leaders, visionaries, influencers, and citizens of all nations behind a common purpose to restore and safeguard the world's soil. And whereas Save Soil aims to address the global soil crisis, recognizing that 52% of the world's agricultural soils are already degraded, and by 2050, 90% of Earth's soil could be degraded, and whereas addressing soil degradation issues would bring solutions for the loss of biodiversity, nutritional deficiencies, food security, water scarcity, climate change, and mass migration. Whereas the proposed solution is to advocate for policies across all nations towards soil restoration and aim to increase organic matter in agricultural soil to a minimum of 3 to 6%. And whereas, in an effort to raise awareness and activate support from leaders and citizens alike, Saguru was on a 30,000-kilometer journey as a lone motorcyclist covering 27 nations over 100 days since March 21st, 2022. Now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Richard Huber, who is on behalf of the Township Committee of the Township of Springfield, do hereby proclaim henceforth March 21st as Save Soil Day in the Township of Springfield, as soil is vital to all life, and urge all citizens to be part of the Save Soil movement to support national policies towards soil restoration and aim to raise the organic matter of soil to a minimum of 3 to 6%. Be it further proclaimed that I urge all citizens to participate in creating bright futures for our children and the future of our planet. You're welcome.
That look good? Only for 2 minutes. Yeah, no, I don't want to go
Less
down.
than that.
Okay.
I'll try to keep it short and sweet. So good evening, everyone. Mayor Huber, esteemed council members, and resident of Springfield. It's an honor and a privilege to be here as we recognize March 21st as a Safe Soil Day. I'll say this is not just a proclamation. It's an urgent call to action for our future. Let me just remind you, soil is not just dirt. Let me repeat that. Soil is not just dirt. It's the lifeblood of our planet and a legacy for the future generation. We are not mere custodians. We are guardians of this treasure, and we don't own it. As we celebrate the Safe Soil Day, let's remind ourselves that together we can safeguard the health of our planet and ensure a thriving environment for our community and future generation. So once again, I'll take this opportunity and would like to thank Mayor Huber, the council members, and all the residents for your dedication to this cause, and your involvement is essential in our effort to save the soil. So once again, thank you all, and let's make it happen. Thank you.
Take a 5-minute break. We're going to take a 5-minute break. I know nobody wants to stay around for everything.
Just, you know, it's interesting that you have two entirely different spectrums of caring for the United States and the earth here, which absolutely amazing. Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Okay. Proclamation. Public comment on agenda items only. You like public comment on agenda items only? Anything? Okay. I'm gonna open it to the public, part of it. I'm gonna close. Okay. Now, oh, I'm sorry. Springfield, 55 and over, residence calendar, for April 2025. It's full up, and go to recreation, and they have every day taken. All right, Coffee with a Cop. Hello Rooster on Tuesday, April 1st, 9 to 11. Go over there, get a free cup of coffee from the police. You might get a ticket, but that's okay. To pay for the coffee.
Can I say something on that Coffee with a Cop? Real quick. Police Department's doing an outstanding job. Thank you. Wonderful.
Now, shredding event is Saturday, April 5th, 9 to 11, Springfield Pool, 44 Morrison Road. No businesses can come, just personal things. All right. Baseball, opening day parade, April 5th, 9:30 a.m. with lineups on Hillside and Irwin Avenue. And rain date is April 6th. All right. Egg Hunt and Kite Fest, Saturday, April 12th, Chisholm Park, 2 to 4. Bring kites, photos with Easter Bunny, and other activities. Rain date is April 13th. Proclamation on we had the proclamation on Vietnam, and proclamation on soil. Okay, now, I'm sorry, now, public comment on agenda items only. Somebody from the public? You know, do we answer the question now or at the end?
End.
End, okay. All right, seeing public portion is closed. Reports. Administrators.
Okay, a couple of things. DPW continues to move through the parks and other town properties performing spring cleanup. Other crews are out on the storm basin restoration. We're cleaning out debris and documenting any repairs. We've addressed over 850 basins throughout the town. Spring curbside cleanup. Just want to remind residents they can place vegetated waste at the curb starting April 1st. All waste must be contained in either a can or a biodegradable bag. DPW crews will be canvassing the town daily, but will not be on a set schedule. Please note that loose debris left in the curb will not be collected. An additional note on the paper shredding, if I may, Mr. Mayor, you're limited to 5 bags or boxes. PSE&G update. The work on Mizell has been completed. Milling from Linden to Morris is scheduled for April 11th from 7 p.m. to 5 in the morning. All right, that's milling. Then paving is scheduled on Wednesday, April 16th, from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., as long as temperatures are 45 or above. If not, they're going to have to move it according to the weather.
Curb to curb.
Yeah,
They're going curb to curb, right?
yes.
Okay.
And Rockbourne and PSG will provide resident notification along Mizell Avenue and adjacent streets. Our street sweeper that was ordered in '24 is in. It's at the vendor right now, just making sure that everything is working properly. This is going to replace our 2011 unit that is out every day. So I think that's kind of paid for itself. I just wanted to touch on Oakland Park. Some people may have seen us over there looking at it. What we are looking at, and Councilman Weber, stop me or correct me if I'm wrong, What we're looking at right now for that is to get that park leveled, cleared, and opened up as soon as possible. If there's anything further that we're looking to do at a later date, we're trying to make sure that we don't do anything now that would have to be undone to do any phase in the future. On our dispatch, we're looking at May delivery, hopefully, of phones, fingers crossed, and the line that we had, the optic fiber line, they did find that and brought it into the building now. So the phones are kind of our last phase. I think everything else has been supplied to the county, so we're getting closer. We also had some meetings this week on security cameras. We're having a real issue up at the pool with people dumping, so we're looking to put some more cameras up there. We also had them look at the fire department, and we also had them look at town hall for PD. We're gonna have to probably go out and get another vendor or two to get some competitive numbers to make sure that what we're getting is valid, and then we'll look at it from there, make a decision what we will do and won't do. I wanted to bring you up to date. One of the things that we kicked off, I talked about, was we've been bringing in the owners of the businesses on Morris Avenue. And I just want to kind of give you a little sense of what we're seeing, because we're excited. We're not going to get necessarily new buildings, but let me just give you some updates. On 260 and 262 Morris Avenue, we had the owner in the other day. They've agreed that once the weather breaks, that they're going to update the exterior of the building, and work will be completed no later than the end of the summer. On 266 Morris Avenue, they're going to update the exterior also. That will be completed within the next 6 months. On 4 Caldwell, we looked at 4 Caldwell. There's some items there that need to be fixed. But the big one is 295 Caldwell. That's that little house that the psychic was in. That building's probably going to get demoed. It's in very poor condition. We're not sure what's going to get done there yet, but at least we'll have a clean lot at that point. 243 Morris Avenue. They're painting the front and the back of the building, the exterior. They're removing the satellite dishes on the building, repave the rear lot and stripe the rear lot, fix the porch soffits in the rear, and remove all debris stored outside. 239 to 241 Morris Avenue, they also are painting the exterior front and back, repave the rear lot and stripe the spaces. The steps in the rear need to be repaired or replaced, and fix the floodlights that are in the rear of the lot. So as you can see, along with the buildings that we're getting, the new redevelopment, at least we're getting some buildings cleaned up. And I think everybody's probably seen the one building, and I'm not sure what the number is. It was painted a dark gray, new windows were put in. That's what we're looking to do with the rest of these buildings. If they just get done and cleaned up like that, it makes a huge difference. So we are getting progress on those items. So if there's any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer.
Public have any comments? Anything?
Sit tight, we are getting things done. You're gonna see the downtown is gonna improve. It's taken a while, but we will get there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular and executive meeting minutes of February 11th, 2025, and regular meeting minutes of February 25th as emailed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
New business?
Okay, we have second readings on 3 ordinances. Ordinance 2025-05. This ordinance amends the Township Code's tree removal and replacement provisions to update certain tree removal contractor insurance requirements.
Mayor Huber, I'd like to make a motion on second reading to approve ordinance 2025-05 as read by Madam Clerk and advertised in local source April 3rd, 2025.
I will second that.
Public, have anything to say about it? Open the public part of the meeting? No? Seeing no one, close the public part of the meeting.
Okay,
Up, are we not up here? Roll call?
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Mayor Huber? Ordinance 2025-06. This ordinance amends the provisions of the Township Code regarding sick leave for certain township employees.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance 2025-06 on second reading, as read by Madam Clerk and publicized in the local source April 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Public part of the meeting is open. Anyone like to speak about it? Seeing none, closing public part of the meeting. Roll call?
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-07. This ordinance amends provisions of the Township Code regarding certain elements of the promotional process within the fire department.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-07 as read by Madam Clerk, publicized in the local source, April 3rd, 2025.
I second.
Public part of the meeting is open. Anybody from the public like to speak on this? No. Seeing none, public part of the meeting is closed.
Okay, I'll do a roll call. Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. The first reading, we have none. Now we have resolutions. 2025-104. Let me know if you want any pulled. 105,
Full.
okay. 106, 25-107, 25-108, 25-109.
Full.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on consent agenda resolutions 2025-104, 106, 107, and 108.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
Resolution 2025
105.
105. This resolution authorizes settlement of the 2022 and 2023 tax appeal entitled Short SH Club Village LLC, docket number 009717, 2022, 005313, 2023, Block 102, Lot 1, commonly known as Short Hills Avenue, Sections 2, 3, and Block 103, Lot 1, commonly known as Short Hills Avenue, Section 1.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-105 as read by Madam Clerk.
I will second that.
Yes.
I just need to recuse, so we just need to.
Roll call?
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Abstain.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-109. This resolution is in support of New Jersey Climate Superfund Act.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-109 as read by Madam Clerk.
Weber?
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just a quick comment. We, earlier today in this meeting, we certainly did a Save a Soil resolution that, talked about the effects of climate change. I think it's pretty evident, the cost that is associated with not only Springfield, but our entire state, our entire nation, and entire world of what we're facing currently with climate change. And unfortunately, it is a large bill every time we have a storm, and we see it firsthand here, whether it be dealing with the actual cost of picking up debris after damage that is done, cleanup of our rivers, making infrastructure improvements, the like, to handle all the effects that we currently have due to a rising global temperature. That's not even taking into imagine the amount of deaths that we have seen here from recent flooding, right, and crazy environmental events and the loss of life, which is unfathomable. But what's becoming certainly a huge burden on local governments and the state is the cost associated with it. And in Trenton, the legislature, working with the governor, is working on legislation that would impose liability on the businesses that have contributed to this climate catastrophe, most notably our largest fossil fuel industry, that from a time period knew what the effects were going to be. So at the end of the day, what projects, infrastructure improvements that need to be made across this state, Springfield specifically, right, and then all our communities across, is there's different resiliency projects that have to be done, right? We talk about making improvements to our pumping stations so that they can handle more capacity. We talk about building dikes throughout to handle capture water. The shores talk about coastal barriers. All that comes with a cost. So that's either going to be fronted by us, the taxpayers, or as the legislature is working on, making the contributors of that pay and lessening the burden of the taxpayer. So with that, I think this resolution signals from us that we need our fair share from the contributors of this, and notably ExxonMobil, Shell, BP America, who for too long knew what their product would cost. And unfortunately, we have to deal with the ramifications of that, and getting the money to make these changes is desperately needed.
Thank you. Well, all right. Finance.
Pay some bills. I'll make a motion to adopt payroll and invoices for the period of March 12th, 2025 through March 25th, 2025 in the amount of $1,630,374.82.
I'll second.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber? Yes. Mayor Huber?
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay. Correspondence, Union County Bureau of Mosquito Control, information on spraying for mosquitoes. They can call town hall and find out where they're gonna be spraying, am I correct?
Call the county.
Or county?
Yeah.
Call the county and they will let you know where they will be spraying at the time.
They need to spray the whole place.
Before we go to public comment,
We do have one question.
yes, that's what I'm gonna,
Okay.
Alex is gonna take care of it.
So you're
Anyone
gonna
got
read it?
You want it?
Well,
I have it. I think I have it. All right. No problem. This question is from Michael Bartosh of 77 Tudor Court in Springfield, New Jersey. His question is, have the mayors of the surrounding towns gotten together with our state legislators and the Army Corps' engineers concerning the flooding of the Rawway River Basin? All I watch on the meetings is what happens with the Gomes building. It's getting old. Please send more questions. I love reading. As the liaison this year to the Army Corps, to the Rawway River Basin Mayors Group, we have not yet met in the beginning of this year. I think a lot of this, I'll take two parts and 2 points to make. This is beyond the state legislature. This is certainly a federal issue with the Army Corps of Engineers that need to study this. And a few years ago, they were given that task, and through legislation, they're required to continue to give us a response, even is my understanding, even if the towns reject it, they have to continue going back to the drawing board time and time again. And that's ultimately what happened last time, is the proposal that was proposed was unworkable for the communities. It didn't work for the communities that would have to hold more water through to the reservoir. It wasn't feasible and wouldn't necessarily, the project suggested might not even qualified for federal funding, because there wasn't it wouldn't have helped as much as it could have. At that point in time, normally what happens is the Army Corps of Engineers throws up their hands and says, okay, we gave you a solution. If the communities can't make it work, we're out of ideas. Thanks to Senator Cory Booker at the time, there was language that was included into a bill that was going to be unacceptable for this project. So once they couldn't agree, the Army Corps has to go back and start over again, analysis, and maybe come up with another plan. That takes many years. It took many years for that last plan to be, I guess, issued. Going forward, so the Army Corps is, per my understanding, is still working on a feasible alternative. I don't know what that feasible alternative is going to be, if it will ever come to fruition, but that is where the Army Corps stands. The last that I understand, the towns were exploring getting their own engineers and continuing to do their own studies, but once again, this takes a lot of time, effort, and money. So I don't necessarily have, I just wanted to rehash that kind of background, and then kind of say, hey, in the foreseeable future, because we do know that another event, knock on wood, won't happen soon, but will probably happen in the future. So we continue to try to meet as frequently as needed, and I will certainly update you to any new updates that we get from that group. And to that point, right, that's why we know that these projects take money, and that's where our other resolution earlier in the night ties in. Any project like this, whatever solution they eventually come up with, whether it's dredging the reservoir in Essex County up in Milburn, or widening the channel down the road to Cranford, all takes money, and is millions and millions of dollars that the local governments don't have, that the county government doesn't have, that not even the state has. That's going to require, at the end of the day, large federal funding. And unfortunately, we have an administration in the federal government right now that is cutting those projects. There was $1 million investment in Milburn for a pumping station that they applied for last year through federal funding that was just slashed recently. Thankfully, our federal dollars came a number of years ago when our engineering's put it in to make our pumping station improvements, or we could possibly be in that same group that got slashed. So when you're talking about cuts on the federal level of in the guise of saying taxpayer money, is that saving taxpayers money? I would not think so. That's harming people down the road that is unfortunately going to have an old decrepit system when a flood comes and Milburn can't pump out. Thankfully, that was in Springfield, but those are the kinds of cuts that will ultimately affect a project that the Army Corps of Engineers comes up with when it doesn't have the funding to make those improvements.
To follow up on one thing that you were saying, because we just had the lights done at Mizell, and that was a 4-year announcement.
Yeah.
All right, it took 4 years to get the lights at Mizell. There are a lot of people that are asking about the driveway. I'll just, I've changed my stance on it, and here's my opinion on it now. If you asked me last year, I was one of the biggest pushers to get the driveway paved. I am not so confident now that I would want to take the responsibility of paving the driveway and finding it upsets the balance of water that Mizell, Laurel, Linden, South Maple, Colonial, all those places take.
We need to find ways to cut impervious.
Right, I'm hoping that an engineer or from the county or somebody who has a better idea than just blacktopping it or whatever comes up with something, but it's a little bit more deeper than just paving a driveway and walking away. I would feel horrible if we pushed so much for that driveway to be paved and find out that it tore up people's houses because.
There's a lot of smarter people than us
Right.
here, right? That actually can do those calculations. Nothing is as simple as paving, right? Even if in your driveway, when they rehash, right, they slope it so that it goes out. That it just, no one should just take asphalt and just cover it. It's not that simple. So, and I know these seem like simple things, but they're really not. Every small little thing that occurs accumulates, right? One little drop of water eventually becomes a major flood, right? That's how every flood starts. So we do have to be smart. A lot of this takes time. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but there's a lot of smarter people working on this that need time to try to solve a solution.
And thank you, Environmental Commission, for changing my mind on that.
Just one other thing. John, have we ever heard about fixing the Morris Avenue, the tunnels? Have we heard anything about that?
Bridge?
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We just signed off, actually, Craig, we just had to sign off on that to let them,
Yeah, there's a resolution actually before, I believe it's going to be coming before the committee on the 8th of
Yeah.
April.
we had to sign
DOT,
off
there's an
on it.
agreement.
Which bridge? Are you talking Washington and Morris?
Yeah.
Okay.
The state's at the point where now, where they've asked us to sign an agreement relating to certain engineering costs and things like that, which will be the responsibility of the DOT. So we're one step closer to them beginning that project. I don't know if we have a timeline yet.
They didn't put a time on it.
And to show you, you talk about time, that's got to be, is it 2010? Thank you. I know it was a long time. Second time.
First time the Model T was going over it, but
Okay. I just wanted to bring that out so people realize. Okay, public comment on any government issues? Anybody? Seeing none, public portion is closed. That's it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Have a good night.